हेलो फ्रेंड्स, तो MPS 002 का सेक्शन 2 जो बचा हुआ था, मैं इसमें आंसर इसका करूंगा। तो इसमें सिर्फ 2 क्वेश्चन का आंसर मैं डिस्कस करूंगा, क्वेश्चन नंबर 8 और क्वेश्चन नंबर 9। नियो फंक्शनलिज्म, मार्क्सिस्ट अप्रोच टू इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस, और 9th का इंटरोगेटिंग द नेशन स्टेट एंड ग्लोबलाइजेशन एंड सस्टेनेबिलिटी। तो देखते हैं क्वेश्चन नंबर 8। तो यहाँ क्वेश्चन आप देख रहे होंगे, 250 वर्ड में लिखना है, ए और बी पे, दोनों पे। तो 250 वर्ड में यानी ऑलमोस्ट 2.5 पेज में लिखना है। तो पहले देखते हैं नियो फंक्शनलिज्म क्या है। नियो फंक्शनलिज्म कॉन्ट्रास्ट टू द फंक्शनल थ्योरी which seeks to create a new world order in which the sovereign states take backseat. Neo-functionalism or the integration theory seeks to create new states through the integration of existing states. This is achieved initially at the regional level, eventually culminating in the long run in the creation of a single world state. Next paragraph में, the idea that integration between states and possible if the political process of spillover facilities, it is basically drawn from the experience of European Union. The neo-functionalists thus prefer to emphasize cooperative decision-making process and elite attitudes in order to assess the process towards integration. Ernst Haas is considered to be the chief proponent of this school of thought. Although Haas builds on Mitrani, he rejects the notion that technical matters can be separated from politics. Haas defines integration as the tendency towards the voluntary creation of larger political units, each of which self-consciously accuses the use of force in the relation between the participating units and groups. Integration for Haas has to do with getting self-interested political elite to intensify their cooperation. Joseph Nye carries this scheme further when he asserts that regional political organizations have made modest contributions to the creation of island of peace in the international system. This study suggests that the way towards peace and prosperity is to have independent states pool their resources and even surrender some of their sovereignty to create integrated communities to promote economic growth or respond to regional problems. Functionalist thus is that they focus primarily on formal institutions in an attempt to determine the extent to which national or as opposed to international agencies carry out important functions. तो ये आंसर कंप्लीट हुआ 250 वर्ड में। क्वेश्चन नंबर 8 का बी देखते हैं, मार्क्सिस्ट अप्रोच टू इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस। अकॉर्डिंग टू देम, present world order is continuation of world order which emerged with the rise of capitalism. यहाँ पे according to them यानी मार्क्सिस्ट। तो according to them, world system continues to be divided into core peripheries and semi-peripheries. Besides above, scholars have expressed present world order as rise of multipolarity, point wise लिखेंगे हम, decline of US hegemony, a polar world as power is getting diffused. Joseph Nye explained new world order as three-dimensional chess board, and Robert Burton explains through the cobweb model. Marxist theory can be called, inverted comma में लिखेंगे यहाँ, emancipatory theory. अब देखते हैं emancipatory theory जो इसका सेकंड नेम है उसके लिए क्या है। Emancipatory theory says that driving force of international politics is not national interest but capitalist interest. They divert attention from MNC's role to states. All Marxists agree that The social world must be viewed and analyzed as a totality. Consequently, they not only view the academic division of the social world into different areas of inquiry like history, philosophy, economics, political science, international relations, etc. They insist that understanding one without knowledge of the other is not possible because the social world can only be studied as a whole. The need for adopting an interdisciplinary approach in any meaningful understanding of the world politics has emphasized. नेक्स्ट पेज पे लास्ट पैराग्राफ में बाई मार्क्स हिमसेल्फ इन हिज कैपिटल 1, यहाँ कैपिटल होगा, मैंने कैपाइरल लिख दिया है. His suggestion in this context was to start with the simplest of social relations and then proceed to build them up into a more and more complex picture. Thus, for Marxist theorists, the disciplinary boundaries that characterize the contemporary social sciences must be transcended in order to have a proper understanding of the dynamics of world politics. तो आंसर कंप्लीट हुआ. अब क्वेश्चन नंबर 9 देखते हैं. ये भी 250 वर्ड में लिखना है. इंटरोगेटिंग नेशन स्टेट्स एंड बी है ग्लोबलाइजेशन एंड सस्टेनेबिलिटी. तो पहले हम देखते हैं इंटरोगेटिंग द नेशन स्टेट्स. The origin of the concept of modern nation state can be traced back to the Treaty of Westphalia 1648, which brought the 30-year war to an end with the formal recognition of the European powers of the sovereign independence of each state. A simultaneous outcome of this development was the emergence of the modern international system, in which the nation state came to be treated as the most important actor. पैराग्राफ चेंज करके यहाँ लिखेंगे स्टेट इज एन आइडिया हुज मैनिफेस्टेशन इज गवर्नमेंट. गवर्नमेंट इज अ सिंबल ऑफ अथॉरिटी. अब देखेंगे अथॉरिटी क्या. अथॉरिटी इज लेजिटिमेट पावर. द एक्सरसाइज ऑफ पावर विच पीपल कंसिडर्ड एज राइट इज लेजिटिमेट पावर. नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ में earlier in ancient times, the system of government was city-state. Later in medieval times, city-state came to evolve in Roman Empire, and later on in modern times, the system of government is known as nation-state. ये जो आंसर मैं डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ ये बहुत अच्छा इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन और आंसर है. ये एग्ज़ाम में भी आ सकता है, इसलिए आप इसको अच्छे से समझ लेंगे. कोई प्रॉब्लम होगा आप मुझे कमेंट करके बता सकते हैं. नेशन स्टेट इज अ टेरिटोरियलाइज्ड एंटिटी एंड सेंट्रलाइज्ड अथॉरिटी. अब देखते हैं कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ नेशन स्टेट्स. तो पहला इसका 4 कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है. तो पहला है टेरिटरी. अब टेरिटरी क्या है. देयर विल बी ऑलवेज सम टेरिटरी. बिना टेरिटरी का नेशन स्टेट नहीं हो सकता है. दूसरा पीपल होना चाहिए, लोग होने चाहिए उस टेरिटरी में रहने के लिए. गवर्नमेंट होनी चाहिए रूल करने के लिए, और सोवेरेंटी होनी चाहिए उस गवर्नमेंट की, सुप्रीम अथॉरिटी टू कंट्रोल एंड रूल द पीपल. ये सोवेरेंटी का डेफिनेशन था इन शॉर्ट. अगला देखेंगे. दो इन यूरोप वी सी ट्रांसनेशनल गवर्नेंस, येट within Europe we cannot say that nation state has lost relevance outside Europe. Nation state continues to be the dominant form of political organizations. अब लास्ट पैराग्राफ में even at present movements are going for national self-determination. Nation state is an institution of capitalism. Capitalism required protection and centralized authority to check its contracts with labor. Gandhi criticized nation state due to its centralization. He favored decentralization. ये आंसर कंप्लीट हुआ. अब लास्ट क्वेश्चन है ग्लोबलाइजेशन एंड सस्टेनेबिलिटी. इसको हम डिस्कस करेंगे. ग्लोबलाइजेशन को पहले डिफाइन करेंगे, फिर सस्टेनेबिलिटी को, और उसके में जो रिलेशन होगा उसको. तो देखते हैं Globalization can be defined as compression in time and space. Globalization also denotes that the world has become a global village. To some writers, globalization is a multifaceted phenomenon impacting on social, economic, and political spheres of human experience. For other writers, globalization includes rapid communications, market liberalization, and global integration of the production of goods and services. From 26 August to 4 September 2002, 192 countries at the World Summit on Sustainable Development reached a difficult consensus on the implementation plans for sustainable policies. A point में टैकलिंग बायोडाइवर्सिटी लॉस, ये क्या है? ये जो समिट हुआ था 2002 में, उसमें ये सब अग्रीमेंट हुआ था. तो टैकलिंग बायोडाइवर्सिटी लॉस बाय अग्रीइंग ऑन द टारगेट टू halt the alarming rate of loss by 2010. Next point, having the figures of 2.4 billion people who do not have access to basic sanitation facilities by 2015. Sorry, यहाँ having हाफ करना है. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट में है protecting the world's fishing stocks by restoring most of the world's major fisheries to sustainable levels by 2015, committing to a clause to continue to enhance the mutual supportiveness of trade. पॉइंट ख़त्म हो गया. आप पैराग्राफ में देखेंगे. It was well agreed that environmental degradation would continue to worsen unless world leaders come with a coherent poverty reduction strategy. It was thus clear that finances was the prime requirement for sustainable development. During the workshop on global environmental negotiations, the industrialized nations were made clear on the point that the Agenda 21 was non-negotiable and therefore aid for development should be forthcoming from these developed countries. However, this remains only on paper as the global politics is ridden by the same old rules of the game. It is fairly understandable that the path of sustainable development is ridden with the immense gap that exists between the North and the South states. Global negotiations and international agreements have remained unfulfilled and disappointing. The increased conflicts between trade and environment are only making the task more complicated. It is important that nations apply logic and understanding with a long-term perspective and initiate concrete action towards sustainable development. तो ये फ्रेंड्स, ये कंप्लीट हुआ हमारा MPS 002 यानी मास्टर इन पॉलिटिकल साइंस का सेक्शन 2 का आंसर. फ्रेंड्स, वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो लाइक ज़रूर करें और हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें आगे इग्नू से रिलेटेड और भी जानकारी लेने के लिए और हेल्प लेने के लिए. थैंक यू.